Hello everyone. Recently, several amendments have been made in CGST rules, and one such important amendment is insertion of Rule 88D. In this video, we will make an attempt at decoding Rule 88D. What does this talk about? What would be its implication? But most importantly, why this rule was inserted in the first place? What purpose is it trying to serve? Before starting, Rule 88D, because it is inserted in the CGST rule, it is going to be prospective in nature. Now, we all are aware that before any recipient avails input tax credit, he has to satisfy certain conditions. Those conditions are specified in subsection 2 of section 16. With effect from 1st January 2022, one such condition is that the ITC he is availing must be getting reflected in his GSTR 2B. 16(2)AA talks about that the invoices on strength of which that recipient is availing that ITC must be indicated by his supplier in his outward supply, and those invoices are getting reflected in his inward supply in form GSTR 2B. In short, if there is any GSTR 2B 3B mismatch for any recipient, then that differential credit is his ineligible credit. Now the important question is, what if any recipient avails credit more than what is getting reflected in his GSTR 2B? That is, what if there is GSTR 2B 3B mismatch for any recipient? What the department can do? Since that credit is ineligible for him, proper officer can initiate recovery proceedings against such recipient. He can initiate proceedings against that recipient under section 73 or 74 as the case may be to recover such ineligible ITC. Now this leads me to my second important question. If the recovery mechanism is already available in case of 2B 3B mismatch, what was the need to insert this Rule 88D? Actually, the issue is, yes, there is a recovery mechanism available. But in that case, the proper officer can initiate proceedings against that recipient to recover that ineligible ITC. However, there is no mechanism available to stop that recipient from passing on that ineligible ITC to his buyers. The need was felt at this point of time. There was a need felt that recovery proceedings are fine, but we wish to stop that recipient from passing on that ineligible ITC at that very moment. How do we do that? There comes the role of this newly inserted Rule 88D. This Rule 88D, if you look at closely, it says that for any recipient, if there is GSTR 2B and 3B difference over and above a certain amount and for a certain period as recommended by the GST Council, then a computer generated intimation would be sent to such a recipient in Part A of GST DRC 01C on the common portal as well as on his email ID. Now this intimation would be system generated. There would be no intervention by the proper officers at this stage. As soon as the difference crosses the threshold limit or the period as recommended by the council, every such recipient would be intimated of the difference. And as soon as this intimation is generated for any recipient, such a recipient would be barred from furnishing details of his outward supplies in his GSTR 1 for subsequent periods. Coming again, for any recipient who has received an intimation of GSTR 2B 3B difference, such a recipient would not be allowed to file his details of outward supplies in GSTR 1 for subsequent period unless he pays the differential amount or furnishes a reply. Now this is the root cause of insertion of Rule 88D, because this is creating a mechanism to stop all those recipients who have availed ineligible ITC from passing on that ITC. Unless a recipient furnishes a reply or pays the differential amount, he will not be able to pass on this ITC. So, all the bona fide recipients would either pay the amount or they will at least furnish a reply. So, they will be able to file their outward supplies. However, a fictitious firm, a dummy firm would neither file a reply nor it will deposit the differential amount. So at least the department will be in a better position to stop the passing on of such ITC. Obviously, it is a very stringent action. The ITC chain will be broken. So very careful exercise has to be undertaken by the department in deciding what the differential amount would be, the threshold differential amount would be, what would be the period for which such an intimation would be given. Now coming back to Rule 88D, what does it actually talks about? It says that for 2B 3B difference over and above the threshold amount and for the specified period as recommended by the council, a system generated intimation would be given. Now the recipient who has received this intimation has two options, either to pay the differential amount in total or partially, and explain or furnish the reasons for such differential amount. Now, if he has paid the differential amount in total, well enough, no problem. But if he has not paid the differential amount in total and he has not even furnished any reply, or even if he has furnished any reply but the proper officer is not satisfied with his reply, then the proper officer obviously can initiate recovery proceedings against him by issuance of show cause notice under section 73 or 74 as the case may be. So if you look closely at all of the amendments that have been brought in, the Rule 88D was not so much inserted to create recovery mechanism in case of GSTR 2B 3B. Rather, this rule has been inserted to curb the dummy suppliers from passing on ineligible ITC by making suitable amendments in Rule 59 also, whereby no such recipient would be allowed to file his GSTR 1 for subsequent period unless he pays the amount or furnishes a reply. That's it for this video. I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you next time in another video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Have a good day. Bye-bye.